Hey folks, going to be doing a unboxing of a game that just showed up a couple days ago called Terrorscape. I believe the base version of this game has been out since early December, but this is like the all-in Kickstarter deluxe edition. The only thing I did not get is the play mats that make up the board, and then the player mats themselves. I think that's the only thing I didn't get. If there was any extra dice, I didn't get any dice or anything like that. I just got the upgraded tokens, all the expansions in the base game. Basically, in this game, it's a one versus all sort of game. One player is going to play the bad guy, and you're trying to track down and attack or kill or capture the survivor players, which the other players will be taking the role of. It's sort of like a hidden movement game, so there'll be like a giant screen that's going to split the board in half, and then each side has the same depiction of the mansion or whatever the map is on their side, and they know where they're at, but they don't know where the other side is. So the bad guy doesn't know where the survivors are, and the survivors don't know where the bad guy is, and they're moving around trying to find each other essentially. It kind of reminded me of a little bit more complex version of that penguin game that's magnetic. One player plays, I think it's penguin themed, some kind of ice themed game. Oh, there it is. Pyramid of the Penguin. Pyramid of Penguin. Where the screen is magnetic and one player's trying to capture the other players. I think the original version was a mummy themed game. I don't think it was in English though. But anyways, let's go ahead and dive into this and kind of show you what we got going on here. All right, so we do have a survival guide here. This basically lists all of the bad guys and sort of their stats and whatnot. So we have the butcher, we have the murderer, we have the specter, we have the werewolf, we have the huntress, the strangler, the unidentified, the statues, which I'm really interested in playing because I'm a big Doctor Who fan. And then there's a list of all the cards and everything, character item deck, how many of each card are in each deck, etc. I'm not sure if this is given to somebody to use or if this is just like a reference guide. We then have a rule book. That is, again, this is glossy paper. The survival guide was glossy paper as well. This is 38 pages. Kind of tells you how, gives you a nice list of contents, setup, the common setup, and then the killer and the survivors. Those are the two sides. Each have different setups to do, concepts, keywords, and then survivors' turns. I'm sure there's a killer's turns later here. Winning the game as the survivors. You can escape or you can wait for a rescue. Yep, and there's the killer turns, the killer's turns, frequently asked questions, variants, assembly guide for the screen. The screen has a built-in dice tower. Here's assembly guide for the dice tower. How to put them together, how it goes into the storage component or the storage trays, where everything from the storage trays go, and then how to fit it back in the box. There is some lid lift, unless I did not put everything back in the way it was supposed to go, but there is a little bit of lid lift on the box. We have a killer booklet, so this is rules, and basically the same thing that was in the rule book. This is just the killer's setup section, and then you have a matching survivor one that goes over the survivor rules, what they can do, quick reference on the back. This is nice that that way each side has a booklet and they don't have to be fighting over this main rule book, and that can just be used for reference. So we'll set this aside. Then we have the pieces of the screen, so you'll see this actually folds out even further. So there's the size of your screen. That's going to be sitting in between the two sides. So it's fairly tall. The other one basically they sit side by side, and then there's a roof that goes on it. Set that over there. This is the map. So again, there's 2 pieces. So each side, so like there's the, I think it tells you which side is which, but I don't know which side is which. But anyways, they sort of go like that, and then the screen goes in between, so it'll be kind of separated like that, I'd say. And then you see these mirror each other. One side's for the killer, one side is specifically for the survivors. If I had to guess, that side would be for the survivors. Maybe. Maybe not. But anyways, you can see, like, you could track separately with the screen in the middle. There's nothing on the other side. It is blank. Then we have some additional boards here. These are additional sideboards for something, I'm sure. Then we got some trays. So here's the dice tower itself. Here's a little piece that goes on top. It's sort of made, this is extremely loose, so I wasn't very happy with this. Like these things just fall right off. They sort of slide onto this, but it's meant to hold cards up like this. So you'll like set cards in a row, and it's supposed to hold them, or maybe not cards. It's supposed to hold something, but it's pretty loose. This is the tower itself, and then the bottom tray is right here. It sort of just pulls off and attaches to the bottom. I'm going to set that back in there for a moment until I get the rest of this off. So here we have a tray. This is the heroes or the survivors tray. You're going to have the 3 survivor or card inventory boards. Then you're going to have a little reference tile that goes over the turn and the killer's turn on the back. And then the boards for each of the survivors. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of them. This is a 2 to 4 player game, so at max you're going to have 3 of the survivors. Then we have a bunch of cards, item decks, the separate ways. There's a separate ways tile, as well as some other cards under here, and then some of these puzzle piece cards. I'm not sure what all of these cards do. Then you have various tokens. You have some skull tokens, some extra tokens of some manner. Then you have gears. You have these little triangle exclamation point. I think these are like alert sort of symbols. And then there are, looks like boards, board tokens that maybe like you board up an entrance or something to stop. You have these are not hard plastic, these are soft plastic. Color, what do you call them? Just things that go on the bases to indicate who's who. And then there's a little police miniature here. You can put together a police car. Those all go there. And then we have some dice here. Not too bad. It goes 1, 1, and 3 is all they have on them, 2 blanks. And you have a little section here where you can put something. I'm not sure what, but you can put something there. So let's get these back in here like that. And those go on top. And that covers over the top. A lot of the tokens in here, the killer is going to have an equal number of them. So I'm going to assume that as you're playing, if you take an action, like you put a token out, the others, you have to let the other side know where you're putting that token out, and they put it in the same position on their side of the map. We have a miniature insert here, and it came, I'll show you that in a minute. I just about dumped all of those out. So you have your heroes up here, basically. They're not terrible. It's a harder plastic. If it'll focus on that or not. Got a couple, got the Maniac there with the chainsaw. We have 2 of those. Yeah, it looks like there's 2 of each bad guy. Here's the Spectre from Librarian from Ghostbusters, I guess. And then this was the Maniac or Murderer or something like that. Then you have all the heroes here. I'm not gonna take all those out. All right, that kind of, okay, I see how that goes in there. They fit in there nicely. So let's put this back on. So that's all the heroes. It came with this piece of cardboard wrapped around the inside to stop this thing from getting crushed, which is great. I'm going to leave that on, actually. It does lift about 1/4 of an inch, so that maybe that's where that extra lid lift comes from. I'm not sure. All right, so let's get the tower, the dice tower, out of here. And then we're down to 2 trays. So we have the killer's tray here, and it's going to have, again, it's one of those tiles where it has the survivors and killers turn. So it's a reference tile, and then you have tiles here for each of the 3 base killers, and then you have looks like a tracks your level here. The killer's level, maybe rounds as well. So there's all that. Then you have cards, bunch of different cards. I'm not sure what all these different cards do. You have smaller tiles of the survivors. I guess maybe for you to think you put them out and where you think they might be or something like that, or the last place you may have saw them or something of that nature. You have a bunch of other different tokens in here. You have the same, again, a matching number of the exclamation point tokens, as well as the board token, the single board with 2 nails in it token. There's this little skull standee token. And that's it for the killer tray. These are all the cardboard tokens that came with the base game. You'll see the upgraded tokens here in a few minutes. They're the same. They're basically acrylic, so they should fit. They're just acrylic, so I'll probably end up getting rid of the cardboard pieces and just keeping the acrylic ones. But for right now, I just put the cardboard pieces in there. And the rule book does explain what goes where. So it tells you, you put 6 of these and 6 of those in here. There's 2 extras you put over here, etc., etc. So the last bit we have here is the tray that's under the part that holds the dice tower. So we'll pull that piece of plastic off. And in here we have these. So these 2 are the slats that go into the dice tower, or one of them is at least. No, this goes into the dice tower as its final ramp that shoots dice out. These are to hold, you basically build the screen together with. This piece goes on top of the screen to track different things. And then this is very nice. These are 2 spare token punch boards. And they were punched, they were in the big sheet like this, and you just punch them out and it says spare tokens, and then you have them here ready to go, but they're in their own little mini punch board that was part of a larger punch board. This is awesome. More games need to do this. And then this is the larger section of the top that folds out. And all of that fits in there. Put those in there side by side, and I had that there, and I had that there, and then those on top, and that would sit down on top of there like that. That'll go in there like that. We can get that back down in there. I just kind of had this slid inside at the top there. And then we'll put these back in here. Put the minis down. And then let's see, we had these two gently on top of the tower. And then we had, see, it's kind of, there's nothing here, and it sort of kind of makes things a little lopsided, but there's no, this is how they tell you to put this in, but it doesn't really line up that well. They actually don't tell you where to put these. Maybe I'll put those on the bottom. I'm not sure. But let me get all this back on top of here. So that's the base game of Terrorscape. That bolt down there. And we've got about a 1/4 of an inch box lift, or lid lift. So let's look at the acrylic token upgrades here. So we have token deluxe token pack number 2, and this is the acrylic tokens. This came just like this as a sheet, and it was shrink wrapped. So you'll see the tokens are there. They are in sheets, and there's 2 acrylic sheets. They're kind of squished together, so we could pull those out like that. I've got to punch them out of there. I'm not going to do that just yet, but you can see there's all these. So here's the skull, here's the police car, the separate ways, QR code with a digital rule book, and a bunch of the other tokens. Now it looks like it's just one set. I think there were supposed to be like I said, there were double the number of tokens for like each side, basically. It's called maybe some of the yellow. Well, there's the yellow triangles. There's double. Yeah, one killer side, survivor side. I think there were only 3 of these per side, 3 of the X tokens per side. So this is probably right. So I got to punch these out. That's the Terrorscape Deluxe token pack number 2. This is the acrylic tokens. Then we have, they call them the block tokens, and I have not put all these together. I just put the first 3 together. These are basically the doors. So they're, quote unquote 3D doors. They're all punched here. They're all on the punch board. I need to punch them out. But you can see here, these are doors, and they'll stand up on end. But there's 3 different types of doors. This one's got like cobwebs and stuff over it, and this is like a stone door of some sort, or I guess that's what that is. And then this is just a door that's got boards all over it. But there's a bunch of them here, and there's 2 trays in here to store this. So let's put the desiccant down in there. Put those back there. So that's the quote-unquote deluxe token pack number 1, the block tokens. I don't think that it says anything on the back. No, it does not. So that's the extra special deluxe tokens. Now let's look at the expansions. This expansion is the Lethal Immortals. This is the one that has the statues in it, and it comes with another hero. So you get a nice little sheet that is, it's not a piece of paper, it's a linen finish. Well, I guess it's technically a piece of paper, but it's thicker than a piece of paper. It's linen finished. It gives you the new map. So each of these expansions comes with a new map and new sort of rules. You get the new survivor here, George, and then you have the statues, and it gives you all their rules here. So here is the new map. We'll just open up half one of these here. So this is the castle. I guess it's going to be, it would be like this when on that side or whatever. And we have an insert here. I did open each of these up and put everything together aside from the door tokens. I still have to do that, but each of these expansions has a little cardboard thing that has to be put together. So we have the survivor tile for George. We have George's character, survivor character tile that the player for George will use, and then this is the one that the killer uses. And then we have the tile for the statues. We have another spare tokens board. We have some cards. We have some other tokens down in here. And some little cards, littler cards. I guess maybe these could have gone over here. We have a green soft base. And then we have two, I guess these are wrought iron gates, stands that I had to put together, punch out, put together. Let's see. Can all these go over here maybe? There we go. Those two can go there. There we go. Perfect. Then we can fit that spare token down in there. We'll put statues and then George. And then we have all the minis here. The statues, it's pretty cool. Each of these statues has a difference. So like here's statue with the guy's, part of the guy's face is, if it'll focus, part of the guy's face is off. This one is missing the top of his head. This one's missing the side of his face. And then there's one here that is whole. No, he's kind of, no, yeah, he's whole. No, he's missing a chunk out of his leg there. A little bit. Right around there. And then we have George with his pad of paper and his pencil. And that is, this was the Lethal Immortals expansion. So there's that one. Then we have the Feral Instincts expansion, and this comes with two new killers, the werewolf and the huntress. Again, same thing, comes with this nice little sheet, goes over the new map, the new rules, and then the two new killers, the werewolf and the huntress. And we have the new board. We'll show half of it here. This is sort of the cabin is what it's called. So plenty of, I guess, out in the wilderness, so to speak. So there's that. We'll set that aside. And then another insert here. We'll get this off to here. This desiccant has seen better days. And it's still got a little bit left in it. We got some cards down here. New cards for the new killers. Some item cards down in here. Some more tokens. Looks like traps, possibly. And there's some kind of nets. And then there's this token, which is a briefcase. Briefcase token. Then I had to build these. These are little chests. 3D chests. There's 4 of those. And then we have the new boards for the new killers. And we have the miniatures. So we have the werewolf here. And then we have the huntress. And there's 2 of each of those. Get that back on there like that. The map's in there like that. Rules. That'll go on top. And then the last expansion we have here is the Amorphous Peril. And this is going to have the Strangler and the Unknown, or whatever the alien was called. And you have the new map called the Laboratory. And then you have the rules for the Strangler and the Unidentified. That's what it was called. The Unidentified. Again, same piece of paper, linen finish, or piece of cardstock, kind of. And this is the new map, the Laboratory. And then we have the insert here. We have the cardboard for the, is that tight fit? We have the cardboard. We have the tiles for the 2 new killers. We have some new cards for the killers, as well as some little mini cards there. We have this little first aid kit or pouch, something or the other. It kind of opens up and you can see into it. Little maybe stand. This was a pain to get together. I actually ripped a little bit of the back off of here as it folded over. But you basically put the inside together first, and then this piece here wraps around it, and it was very difficult to get. I started on the bottom. These 3 were easy to get in by themselves, but then as you folded this over, you can see where the fronts of these kind of smashed down as I tried to smash it closed. I don't know what else they could have done, but I don't know. And then we've got these little pods for the Strangler. These had to be put together. This was 3 pieces, and they just sort of sit in these alcoves here. And then we have the minis. So this is the Unidentified. And then we have the Strangler. He looks pretty cool. All those little legs and everything there. Is that auto-focusing at all? Let me just hold that up there and see. Kind of. It works. Alright. That is... Okay, so that was... What was the name of that expansion? Amorphous Peril. That was the Amorphous Peril expansion. And that is everything that I have got for Terrorscape. So let us let that back aside and get the main box out there. Yeah, 2 to 4 players. Looks like it's going to be fun. But we'll see. I do kind of enjoy those hidden movement games where you are, trying to guess where somebody else is going to be. Letters to Whitechapel, I enjoy that game. I've not played Dracula's Fury, but I hear that it's better than Letters to Whitechapel. But I like the theme. Hopefully the screen looks huge. It goes in between the 2 sides, so unless somebody's actively trying to look over it or walk around it to see what's going on the other side, I feel like there's not going to be a lot of you're not going to have a lot of people being able to tell what's going on. And it's also big enough that even if you're just sitting on the other side, you can't see what the other person is really going to be doing. So that was Terrorscape. This is by designed by Jeffrey CCH. What is the name of this company? Ice Makes Games. Ice Makes is the name of the publisher. Anyways, that was Terrorscape. Thanks for watching, guys.